Hello, hello, Virgo. Welcome to your November 2018 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Virgo. And if you don't know what your sun and rising is, just look up a natal chart generator because I don't have time to answer every how do I find it question. So just look up natal chart generator and there's a gazillion free ones that can give you all the info. Okay, and just go ahead while I'm shuffling these oracle cards, feel into your body, notice anything that wants to come up. Just pay attention if you're experiencing any tension. Take a few deep breaths into the diaphragm. Okay. If you would like a specific set of information or an answer to a question, you can set your intention for the reading. You can ask for that to show up. Okay. First thing for Virgo is we know each other. For me, this is kind of pointing to, this is what it feels like when you meet a soulmate in certain respects, but it beyond that, that's kind of a superficial interpretation of this. What I'm really getting here is that empathy is one of the things that is missing in the world right now, and it's something that you're actually able to bring to the table. I actually say that all the time, like my job is to empathize with everybody. I have to be able to get there in order to do this work. You know, that's kind of my job. So, but this is a collective thing that we're doing, being able to relate to each other on any level, not every level, because sometimes we really are not able to relate to people or we have different experiences. But whatever fragment that you can recognize something in someone else is you're in. That's kind of the entrance point for you. Okay, so that's true for conflict, it's true for romantic relationships, it's true for friendships. So find your in, find your entrance point. And then we also have acceptance. Evening primrose is the flower that goes along with that. And acceptance of self, acceptance of others, again, like we know each other. It's really about not being a doormat, right? That's not what acceptance is. It's just about like recognition and seeing your environment for what it is, seeing your experience for what it is. Okay, so it's just about accepting and then doing what you can to either respond better or improve your life however you can, because if it's dependent on someone else, it makes it trickier. Okay, then we also have the heart eater. Okay, I'm getting that this is being really critical of yourself, being really, really hard on yourself. There's kind of this energy of like wanting to crack the whip or be really overbearing with yourself. And so try to run the self-acceptance, self-compassion a little bit more. I kind of like the idea, and people might fight me on this, but the idea of supporting and understanding the symptom or the behavior within yourself. So like, let's say you want to lay on the couch and eat potato chips all day. There's more to it. It's kind of like that's serving some purpose. And if you just try to come from a space of understanding it, it will shift. Right? So if you fight it, then it actually fatigues you and makes you want to do it more. Now, I'm not saying you should do that, right? But it's one of those things where if you kind of invert what you think is right and you actually support that, you can see it actually shift. Like the need goes away when you stop being hard on yourself about it. It gives you a little bit of breathing room and you can organically do things that are really in alignment with you. Now, the word of the month is expansion. More of your higher self is calling for expression. Your capacity is growing. The horizon beckons. Okay, so this is going to be a really big month for you in terms of growth, change, and personal evolution. So it really is about you doing things that you haven't done before. That's where expansion starts. Expansion sits on the edge of your comfort zone, and if you really challenge that, you're going to see yourself grow exponentially. Now, the central energy for you is the Six of Cups. This is the soulmate card, the connection card. And remember, soulmate isn't just romantic, so don't worry so much about that. If you do want to manifest a soulmate, or you're dealing with a soulmate, then congratulations. But this has to do with that familiarity, the we know each other. There's like that deep understanding with other people. And so I am getting that this is going to be a month that is really about connection and your relational experience in the world. And so there's so much going on with this. We'll unpack it more, but remember that the subtext this month is relational. So think power dynamics. Think about intimacy on all levels, familial, platonic, romantic intimacy. These are all the themes that are going to be making an appearance this month. Now, what's in your highest good to manifest is the Seven of Cups. So I'm going to clarify this one, but traditionally this is about options and flexibility. But let's see what other information this card has. The World. Okay, so now this is different. That's why I wanted to clarify it. So it's not about manifesting options. It's the opposite. It's actually, if you have 17 plates spinning and you're doing 10,000 things at once, it's about boiling that down to completing some of those cycles, condensing things so that it's a little bit more palatable and easier to maintain. And if you kind of reduce the number of things that you have going on at one time, it's really going to help you. So I think that this is a month where you can really put your skills to good use and organize yourself, structure yourself, get ready for the new year. You know, we're heading into 2019. Prepare yourself, do all of the tasking, and you can actually manifest resolution. You can manifest clarity. You can manifest things that are kind of like that are kind of energetic drains. You can kind of ask for those loose ends to be tied up so you don't have to scatter your energy quite so much. Now, the advice for your energetic health, I'll explain this more, is the Four of Rods, the Four of Wands. Okay. So this is pointing to self-care. So more of the domestic side of things is going to help your energetic health. Think, and I like to remind people of this, your physical space, your physical environment, wherever that is for you, make it as warm and enjoyable as humanly possible. The more you can do that, the more energy you're going to have, the more you're going to be able to protect your energy. Okay, so it's going to be easier to set boundaries. Don't underestimate the power of cleaning up your space, cleaning up your environment, boiling down the amount of tasks that you have to do, condensing things. These are really, really connected here. So take some time in your physical space and let yourself nest a little bit and see the changes that happen as a result. The advice for your physical health: justice. Don't be extreme this month. It is not going to be good if you're like, I want to go on a crash diet and start working out for 90 minutes a day. You're going to run into some serious problems. This has to be balanced. So it's about, chipping away at things in your physical health, not doing anything extreme. It's about easing into it. It's about creating something that's sustainable for yourself, and it doesn't matter what that is. Okay, it can be a habit like diet and exercise. It can be something related to mental health. It can be, whatever you're feeling that you need at this point in time on a physical earth body level is going to be worthwhile. Just don't try to bite off more than you can chew. This is not the month to do that. You're working on condensing the amount of things that you're doing. You're working on creating space. And that's what's going to make this sustainable. If you overdo it, you're going to have to start this process all over. So don't pigeonhole yourself. And then the energy that's shifting out in November, we have the Nine of Swords. This is fear. I love seeing this here because this is what's moving out. Like, you're clearing out the clutter, you're clearing out the gunk, and anything that's like held you back, like negative beliefs, all of the things that are like giving you anxiety, causing some form of frustration. And again, like that energy of being really hard on yourself, being your own bully. One of the greatest things that I've read lately was that, remember, your very first experience of God is through your parents, right? Because when you're an infant and you're completely dependent and needy, if your parents do create a rupture very early on, that is your experience. That's kind of what your core belief system is going to mold around. And so, and remember, this is mental. So as you mature into an adult, it can come with you. And so it does take work to unravel that and write a new narrative for yourself. And that's what it looks like is happening as a result of this. So that's kind of the concept that this is reminding me of, is all of those false things that you have been told, all of those voices that were kind of planted there about you're not good enough, you're not doing enough, you should feel guilty for not overexerting yourself. That's moving away. The oncoming energy is the Mother of Cups. I'm going to clarify this. And then we have the Hermit. So this is like a new emotional experience for yourself, a new emotional beginning. Again, a new narrative. A new narrative is beginning to emerge. And this, in large part, has to do with, again, relationships, your relational experience. People really underestimate the importance of that. And so it is kind of unfolding here as you go. You're releasing all of the toxic parts that were in service of you at one point in time and no longer are. And then the oncoming energy is really pushing you into a new emotional experience. Okay, but it looks like it's going to take some time to integrate. That's what the Hermit is telling me. Now let's get into the timeline. If you're new to my channel, I do first, second, third, and fourth quarter, about a week-ish of November. It's a little bit more fluid because it's time. Okay, so quarter one, this is where you start November. You have the Page of Coins, initiating a new beginning, starting something new, doing something different. And so you kind of have this to begin with. Like really, it looks like some really potent motivation to plant new seeds. Or again, like I was talking to you about the consolidation, that in essence is doing something differently. If you're used to having 15,000 things and you're boiling it down, that's what the Page of Coins is telling you. So it looks like you start off the month on a good foot. The second is the Page of Swords. So the second quarter, second week-ish is about, I'm getting that this is like ideas, like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, I could go here, I could go there. So there's something that's really expansive about the second quarter, because it's the Page of Swords is really about dreaming big. Like, okay, I could conquer the world. You know, that's kind of the potential that comes from this card. So you kind of have this on your side as well in terms of that initiation and then just expanding. Like, once you consolidate and refine, organize yourself, then it's just going to be a big expansion from there. Third quarter, we have the Ten of Swords. And so this is where you have to go through and refine again, right? Because what happens is you expand, and then contract. That's a part of the process. And so that's what's happening here. The Page of Swords is like, go, expand. And then you want to, it calms down. So the Ten of Swords is where you release some of the ideas or the thoughts or the expansion that isn't working. Not every element of your expansion is going to be effective. Like, it's not always going to make sense. And so that's kind of where you have to go through and cherry pick the things that you want to take with you, but you can't do it all. And I think the Ten of Swords is you kind of reflecting and saying, oh, I'm going back to doing the way I was doing things before, and I want to shift out of that. And then this is where you end up at the end of November. We have Justice. There you go, bringing it back to balance. So it's all coming together. Even the Ten of Swords is kind of like, nope, don't, you're taking it too far, balance it back out. The pendulum is swinging too far one way. And so by the end of the month, you're really in a good headspace with what amount of energy you're giving to each place. Now I am going to do a 3-card pick. These are relationship cards, 11 relationship cards, but it's not necessary for you to be focusing on a romantic relationship for them to apply. These are good advice cards no matter what. So you can pick a card that feels right to you, feel it out. Okay, card number 1. My best self. I trust that when I'm doing what's best for me and being the happiest version of myself, the right sorts of relationships will appear in my life. That means I can let go of my worries about the future, knowing that my only job is to be happy in this moment, while simultaneously attaining a cosmic level of enlightenment, awareness, and total psychological self-actualization. Okay, so this is really a reminder that the way you show up in relationships, the way you are in relationships, is determined, and true for all relationships, is determined directly by how much you or how well you're taking care of yourself, right? If you're bone dry, if you don't have a lick of energy, it's going to be really difficult to be your best self in a friendship, in a marriage, in a business partnership. Okay, card number 2, sensuality. I'll read this one to you. Embracing sensuality doesn't necessarily mean you're a middle-aged swinger. It simply means you're savoring one of the coolest aspects of being alive, sensory input. It's time to get decadent and reward yourself with gifts of the senses, for the senses. You could drop a wad of cash on champagne and chocolate, or you could tune in and enjoy the incredible gifts around you. The taste of an orange, the sounds of the forest, the texture of corduroy. I don't know your life. The point is, it's time to savor whatever your senses can grab a hold of, even if that means you're being sensual. Gross. Okay, I like to remind people of this a lot. This is pointing to second chakra. That's where your sensuality comes from. You know, the second chakra is hooked into the sex organs. It also is the part of you that experiences touch, smell, taste, all of that stuff. So it looks like sensuality is a big one for you this month. Okay, so don't sell yourself short. Maybe spend a little money on a treat for yourself, however you can do that. And then card number 3, compassion. I choose compassion over criticism. Walking a mile in other people's shoes reminds me that what they might be going through something tougher than I think. Like their shoes are too tight, or they're the kind of shoes that are too casual to be dressy and too dressy to be casual. Basically, I have no idea what they're dealing with privately. So I'll cut them some slack and be thankful for the shoes I've been dealt. Okay, compassion is kind of the secret sauce for you this month. Again, there's a fine line between like being a doormat and then having compassion. So I don't want those two things to get confused. It's just about like really having standards for yourself, but also being compassionate for those around you. Mostly because compassion is going to help you. It doesn't really matter the other person so much. This is for you. This is so that you aren't living in a state of frustration and anger. Compassion is what can help shift that out. All right, Virgo. Thank you so much. I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for those of you who work with me, who get tarot spreads, who comment, like, share, who follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I appreciate every single one of you because you guys are what make this channel possible. And until next time, have a lovely November, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.